Today we're going to talk about the Scholastic Writing Contest, the New York Times Summer Reading, the John Locke Award, and the Foyle Young Poet Award. To begin, we'll talk about the Scholastic Writing Award. This one you might be familiar with. It's one, if not the largest, one of the most prestigious writing contests for middle and high school students in the country. This summer, we're going to be doing some small group classes where the students will work on either a short story or a flash fiction, which is a very, very short story in small groups. And the goal is that at the end of the sessions, they will have a fully realized, finished, beautiful, moving, and perfect story to submit to Scholastic. So one group will be short story and one group will be flash fiction. The differences being that a short story is a fictional narrative written in prose. For Scholastic, they're looking for short stories that are 500 to 3,000 words long. For flash fiction, the difference is that this is a story that is highly focused and characterized by brevity. So for Scholastic, they are looking for flash fiction that is under 1,000 words. So a bit more about Scholastic. It is the nation's longest running and, according to them, most prestigious recognized program for creative teens. It looks really great on college applications, even just participating. They are regionally judged. So depending on where you live, you will be in competition with students who are from your local area, maybe even some other students from your high school. Last year, I judged for my region, which is the state of Mississippi, and it was a really interesting experience. And I felt very proud to have been involved in that. And I even recognized some of the winners as some of the stories and poems that I scored highly. So I felt, like I was contributing in some way to these young writers' lives. And through that experience, I learned what they're looking for. Scholastic has a lot of genres. We're going to be, for the summer courses with me, focusing on short story and flash fiction, but they also do academic essays, poetry, memoir. They even do things like sci-fi and humor, playwriting. They have many categories, and they have art categories as well. So if you're an artistic teen, you should definitely look into Scholastic. The deadline depends on region. Most of them are in December. So you have a long time to work on these. So this summer, we're going to do, as I said, 2 different groups, short story and flash fiction. These will be very small groups. Last summer, they were 2 to 3 students. It depends on interest and enrollment. And what we will do is we will have 7 one-hour group meetings. These will be with the group all together. And then at the end of these 7 one-hour group meetings, we will do one-on-one session, just me and you, to discuss your individual story and your revision goals. After that meeting, you will go and revise your story, edit it, send it back to me, and I will do a round of edits. Now, edits include more than just I check your grammar, I proofread for you, help you with your punctuation. It's more than that. I also encourage you and give you feedback on big picture things and suggestions such as theme, style, voice. I might say this image can be sharper, maybe delete some repetition, some things like that. So it's not just grammar and edits, but it's also geared towards the story, making the story the best story it could be. So a little bit about what the judges are looking for Scholastic. The logistics for judging is that we do read the stories or poems or whatever they are, the essays, anonymously. We do not know the student's name or where they live or anything about them. And we judge them on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the strongest, of course, on 3 main areas: originality, technical skill, and an emergence of a personal voice or vision. So a bit more about these areas. By originality, they're looking for that the idea behind your story is original and handled deftly in a genre and style suited to the subject matter. So in our sessions, this is why it will be important for us to learn what is the genre of short story or flash fiction, and how do we put our ideas into this genre. They're also looking for technical skill, which is a big part of what I will be helping students with. This is an excellent use of language and mechanics, organization, word choice, sentence structure, language and rhythm, carefully chosen details. And of course, we want stories that hold the reader's attention from beginning to end. And the third main area that judges are looking for is voice or vision. And so this is that the experience of reading the story, the phrasing and the language is memorable, that the tone is original, and that the student is showing that they are developing their own unique voice, that their writing stands out from the hundreds and hundreds of other, probably thousands really, entries into the competition. So this is a big part of how I can help students too, is when I see something that they are gifted at, I encourage it and I push it. And sometimes students don't realize that they have a gift until someone else points it out to them. And so really we're just helping them become the best writer that they can be with the skills that they already have and are already developing. So what will our classes cover? So we are going to do lessons on the genre expectations. This will include things such as characterization, narrative, right? The story has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. There has to be conflict. There should be a setting. There should be details, etc. We will also read examples of published writing in that specific genre, and we will discuss the virtues and the qualities of the writing that we think make it strong and that make it memorable. So that way we are learning from published writers, because a secret to being a writer is you can't just write, you also have to be a good reader too. And we'll also look at examples of past winners of the Scholastic contest so that we can talk about what are these student writers doing that we admire, and who's won in the past. What do we think maybe the judges saw in those pieces? We will also learn and implement revision strategies. This can sometimes be the hardest thing for young writers. They think, I've created this story, I'm very proud of myself, and I'm done. But a secret to writing is that you're never really done the first time. And so we're going to talk about different strategies to help us become better at revising. And we'll do multiple drafts of our stories during these sessions. But also we're going to do fun things. I'm going to have everyday different writing exercises. Some of them will be weird or silly or sometimes serious. And the idea being that your student will write an original story, but they'll also have little small, writing exercises that might turn into other things in the future for them, or that at least let them get out some creative energy. I can also share with them some other opportunities for contests and publications. They're going to write the story for Scholastic. They might as well send it to other competitions. And there are some journals that accept student work. And I am an editor of Mississippi Review, and I was a past editor of Narrative Magazine. And there are lots of journals looking for student writing as well. So I can share some of other things, some future lives for these stories with the students. And then I do expect that students at the end of our hour sessions can either continue writing alone for another 30 minutes, or before we meet again, they need to have written and worked on their story for 30 minutes. That way, at the end of these 7 sessions, their story is really fully developed. So I do expect that students spend an extra 30 minutes outside of the sessions writing at home.